everybody. I'm Michelle with Garden City Homestead. That's my first reason. Good food, healthy food, and it's convenient. The second reason that I homestead is the idea of an edible landscape totally intrigues me. I want plants in our landscape that we can actually eat and enjoy, that serve a dual purpose. They're beautiful and they provide sustenance for our family. The third reason why I homestead is that I want my daughter to know where her food comes from. That's so important to me. I want her to know that what an artichoke looks like. I want her to know what a carrot looks like. I want her to have that feeling of accomplishment when she grows something and can harvest it. I want her to know that rabbit poop is an invaluable fertilizer and it can go straight in the garden. I want her to be able to go get eggs from the chickens. Even my husband learned you don't have to have a rooster to get eggs, which I learned too, by the way. I didn't know that either until we started this homesteading journey. The fourth reason I homestead is I absolutely love animals. You will hear me baby my animals all the time, and that's totally okay. I like it. Everybody else
cold sores and all. I'm reading the chat, but I'm there. I know. Forgive my mouth. Daryl hit me in the mouth and now it's swollen.
Daryl did not hit you in the mouth.
Sounds better than I have a cold sore. Hey folks, how you doing? Happy Veterans Day. I don't know, do you say Happy Veterans Day? Thank you to all our vets for their service. Oh my gosh. Boreal amethyst. Hey Mandy. Oh, we were talking this afternoon about a meetup in Montana, September. It's canceled. Just wanted you to know. But our guest tonight is Garden City Homestead. We have mother and daughter with us. And I can't wait to get this started. Seems like it's going to be a fun evening. Make sure all your questions are in all caps. And, yeah, I know, Mandy. And we'll go on from here. They're still talking cheesecake in here. So we got Jason, who never got his. Ben, that got several of them. And then the cheesecake topping that I made him, he put on their bagels that Allison brought him. Do I have that right, Ben? So anyway, on with the show. You ready? He's not ready yet, so I'm supposed to still be talking. Oh, there they are.
Go ahead, introduce them.
You introduce them. I've just done all the talking.
No, I'm still setting up the other room.
The other room?
Yeah.
We have somebody else coming. Is there
For
room
the phone.
Smudge?
For the phone.
Oh, room for the Smudge. For the phone. Jeez almighty. Okay, folks. They are live. Ooh, look at that wallpaper. That is...
Hi!
Make sure your comments are in all caps. We do have 2 trivias like we always do. And gosh, who doesn't want seeds in the middle of November or 1st of November when it's blizzard weather outside? So, what What's the weather up like where you are? Are you having the weather advisory also?
No, it's 52 degrees outside and right now. It feels
I'm
great.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I
It's like
asked.
fall is just stopping.
I'm just sorry I asked. Because it was started raining earlier and then that turned to sleet, and our part of the country has a weather advisory. I hate winter. Hate winter. But here we
And
are.
one of the beautiful things about living here in South Carolina is that you can really garden all year if you try. We had Brussels sprouts and all kinds of things out all winter last year.
That's cool. Now, how long have you been gardening?
Oh, like a year, maybe two.
Ever since we moved into this house, because like we moved to South Carolina maybe how long ago was it?
4 or 5 years ago. But my dad was a big gardener, and we did have a 1 acre garden that we gardened by hand when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like 200 chickens that we slaughtered by hand with no extra tools or defeatherers or anything like that.
We have heard stories, but I haven't heard the numbers.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand. But
So yeah.
having a garden is wonderful to be able to get out there and not only plant it, but watch it grow. And it's like, and then you get to harvest it. My granddaughters will go out. My two granddaughters, they're 10 and 14. Well, two of our granddaughters. They'll go out in the garden and pick the tomatoes, and they won't even make it back into the house. So,
Oh, it's great. And then if I happen to see something in the garden that's going bad, I can just throw it over the fence to the chickens and they come running or give it to the rabbits. It's great. I love it.
yep. Yeah, my brother used to bring out a salt shaker when he would go out in the garden for his tomatoes. Big Bear is asking what part of
That's a good idea.
what part of South
She's
Carolina
totally
are
gonna
you
do
in?
that now. I'll have to like sneak a recording of her doing that because I know she's gonna do it.
I better believe it.
Yeah. Big Bear wants to know what part of South Carolina you're in. They can't
We're
hear
in
there.
Orangeburg, which is right between Charleston and Columbia.
It's like kind of in the center of something.
Yeah. It's a very rural place. But we live in the city of Orangeburg, which makes it very interesting because we can have chickens and rabbits here and nobody cares. We even have a rooster. And I have gone around to all of my neighbors and asked them, are you sure it's okay for us to have this rooster? And they think it's great. They have no issues.
The people who live right across from us, she was even like, please keep the rooster. I want to wake up to him every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we're not allowed to have any of that. So we hit up everybody else for fresh eggs.
Yeah, we accidentally got the rooster because we asked the guy at where was it? Whatever tractor supply. We asked him to sex them, and he did pretty good. We only got one rooster out of all the chickens we got from them. But we do have one rooster, and everybody thinks it's great.
Cool. Well, that's a good thing then. Big Bear is asking, how far from Anderson are you?
I think Anderson is north of us. I don't really know how far we are from
Jason, is that where we ate at the Golden Corral? Was that Anderson, South Carolina? That was South Carolina, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
Okay, I'm glad you gave me an answer.
Yeah, I believe it was. Well, I had to think about it.
There are plenty of golden corrals around here.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. So one time we went down to Georgia to spend the weekend or a couple of days at Big Bear Homestead. We ended up going to Golden Corral that night, which is fine. Heck, I don't care. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was Anderson, South Carolina. Because every time I hear Anderson, I think of Rusty. So, trying to see if they're Anderson is 2.5 hours from Orangeburg.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can see any other questions. So what did you grow this year?
What did we grow this year?
Yes, ma'am.
We grew tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and eggplant. If you live in South Carolina, you need to grow eggplant. I don't know what the deal is. It's like it grows perfectly and nothing attacks it.
I until she grew it, I had never even like tried eggplant. Like I
Really?
asked her to buy the seeds just so we could try it,
Mhm.
and now it's my favorite vegetable.
I love
It's not
eggplant.
delicious they are.
I love eggplant fried, eggplant parmesan. I'll peel it and cut it in chunks and put it in soups or spaghetti sauce. You know, nobody knows it's in there. We stared at me for it.
Yeah.
Now you know it's in there.
I know it's in there.
You knew before.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan, but I'll eat
You'll
it.
eat it. You do. And you ate spinach in your omelet last week.
Yeah,
Okay, Daryl,
Do you
speak
sell
up.
Homestead Seminole pumpkin seeds?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been growing those. They grow like prolifically here. And I've been sneaking them into all of our food. Everyone here, until Lucy and I talked about it the other day, thought they were sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
She put them in chili, and I swear that's the best chili I've ever had.
Yeah, it's strange how once you grow your own food, how you put the vegetables and stuff, and the kids are like, "I ate what?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Well, she's the one that got me to like eggplant because I only planted it because she wanted to see it grow. And I tasted it and cooked it because she wanted to taste it. And then, like a couple weeks later, after she kept wanting it more and more, I was like, doesn't the texture bother you? I just couldn't resist asking her that. And she said, no, Mom, it's just like a mushroom.
Oh no. It's not like a mushroom.
mushroom?
It's more like a tennis ball.
Alrighty then. Out of the mouth of Daryl. Who was it? Paul Flattery. And I heard they grew pumpkin and radishes too.
Hey, Dad.
We do grow a lot of radishes and lettuces, and we love Paris Island Cos, if that's how you say it, romaine lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
That's just delicious. So
Now-
I'll be planting that again here pretty soon.
Have you ever tried roasting your radishes?
Yes, they are delicious.
That's what I've heard.
Got that from Christian Refuge.
Yeah, because I got that from Robin from Big Bear Homestead. That's the only way they'll eat them now. So it's like, I haven't bought any yet, but I'm going to try it.
What mushrooms are you eating?
Do what?
What mushrooms are you eating? Big Bear's asking.
Oh, well, no, it's the eggplant has the texture of a mushroom. That's how Lucy got me to like eggplant.
Okay.
Because I didn't like it.
That's the only way I could describe the texture of, like, I don't know how she cooked it, but that's how, like, the texture of however she cooked it described, like, that's how it
Tennis ball works.
felt.
You're just not right. Oh, goodness. 42 in here, no questions. What's going on, folks?
So anyway, I've got some questions.
Well, you should. You've been quiet all this time. That's unusual.
So let's go with some backstory here. Where did you grow up, Michelle? Were you on a farm, or were you a city girl, or
All of the above.
what's your history?
Well, my dad worked for an international oil construction company, and we traveled all over the place. So I wasn't a military kid, but we lived in 9 countries and 36 states by the time I turned 16 when I counted, and those were the ones I could remember, because when I told my dad that number, he laughed at me. And I also had been in 16 different schools by the time I turned 16.
Wow.
So we kind of lived a little bit of every kind of lifestyle.
Share stories from every country.
Yeah. But when we lived in Louisiana for the longest period of time, right before I graduated from high school. And we had, for a while there, we had 25 acres, I think. And we had chickens, and they were talking about getting other animals, but the 1 acre garden about killed us. And we did not have air conditioning. So Louisiana, hot summers, no air conditioning. 1 acre of manual labor, all pretty much done with kid labor.
Well, we've been in Louisiana, and it's hot there. We know that.
Yeah, we were there in July.
So
Yeah, but I loved it. Looking back on it, you know what I mean? Having the free time to go roaming in the woods and playing on trails. It was a lot of fun.
so you really don't have a farming background. So what?
No.
So what made you just grab this decision to start planting things and I mean there had to be some reason, some underlying reason. I mean,
Well,
did you
there
buy?
were a couple things that happened all at the same time. We decided to buy this house, and we do move pretty frequently with my husband's job. So once we decided to put roots down because we thought we were going to be here for a while, then I really wanted to take the opportunity to grow some stuff and, you know, explore the flowers and landscaping and those kinds of things. Yeah, that's my personality. I love doing new things. And right about the time that we moved in here, we found out, maybe actually it was a little bit before that. So before we moved in here, I was binge watching M.I. Gardner and Roots and Refuge, those channels, to learn about gardening. And when my dad, who is the one who does garden and has gardened his whole life, you know, little bits here and there, but I just never really had a big interest in it, he got sick. So we found out that he had leukemia. And there's a certain type of leukemia that if you get it when you're older, then it's very quick. So he only had 6 months left to live, and he didn't want to go. This is without chemo because he didn't want to go endure that. So once he passed away, really just I spent all my time outside. That was my coping mechanism to deal with everything that happened. And I do still feel like he's with me when I'm outside, and I feel so much better. Just my, I don't know how to say it, like my happiness level and my satisfaction with life level seems to go up just spending a few hours outside or with the animals or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to continue doing that forever. I love it.
Cool. It's
We
like,
really recommended that too. With we have a circular driveway, and right in the middle of our driveway, there's I don't even know what to call it.
It's a red maple. It was one of my dad's favorite kinds of trees. So when he passed away, I was going to take a cutting off of the trees in his yard, and my mom bought one for me.
Oh,
So
cool.
that is the tree that's in the center of our driveway. We planted it for my dad.
Royal Amethyst Acres, what are your plans moving forward on your homestead?
Well, I don't know, because we recently found out that we might be moving within the next 2 years.
Wow.
So I'm just, yeah. Well, with my husband's job, sometimes that happens. So
Can
I'm
you
just
share?
gonna
Can you
keep
share what
on-
your husband's job is?
He is a quality manager at a automotive place.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're very fortunate that basically that just means he's an engineer.
He's an engineer that is above other engineers and tells them what to do.
That's her version.
My limited knowledge.
So he doesn't really like being outside and gardening and things like that. So that's kind of like my thing to do outside.
Sometimes I don't because I love my mother, and sometimes she forces me to.
So he wouldn't be behind you in getting animals and going whole hog here on this.
Well, we have chickens and rabbits right now. I don't know. It really kind of depends on where we live. But where we are right now, I don't think we can go much further than that. I mean, I think
kind of pushing city limits right now.
I think we could get quail, but I don't think we could get goats or pigs or anything here. And I just don't know that he is willing to live in a more rural place than we are now. We have to talk about that to figure it out. Because it's relatively new that I got into all this stuff, right? When we've been married for a long time, 14 years, yeah. So when we first got married, we actually met in a video game. So we were both gaming, and this whole gardening thing just was not anything that was on the horizon at that time.
Oh, this wasn't an option in the video game?
I did like crafting in video games, but no, yeah, I mean, sure, it was an option in some video games.
Yeah, a lot of people I've talked to lately, they've met on video games or somehow on the internet. Daryl and I met on the internet.
Before the internet.
Right before AOL, actually. AOL was just still a puppy back then. You know, it used to be they tell you to watch out for strange men in bars. They never said anything about strange men on the internet.
Yeah, communication's going a long way.
So.
Yeah, for the internet, Paul and I would have never met because he lived in Charleston at the time and I lived in Boston.
Oh, so you're a New Englander.
Well,
sort of.
I had a job.
For a period of time, you were a New Englander.
Yeah. For a couple of years, I lived there.
That's quite a stretch from Louisiana to the New England accent. You had to forget your R's or learn your R's or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Serenity Farmstead wants to know what video game were you on?
I think it was Dark Age of Camelot, and I know we were fighting spiders in a cave. And the only reason that I talked to him was that his character's name was Mother, like Mother Nature, and I thought he was a woman. So that's the only reason I talked to him. And then we got on to whatever the voice chat program of the time was and found out he was not a woman. But we were friends online for like 5 years.
Surprise.
Yeah. We played games together online for like 5 years before we met in person, I think.
Very interesting. So,
yeah.
Do you hope to move to, if you're going to move in a couple of years, do you hope to find a more rural setting than what you have now and make an additional step into the homesteading genre, or just kind of where you're at now? I don't want to call it a hobby homestead because that's really not what it is, but
yeah, I have no idea what to call us. I would love in my, wildest dreams, if I was fantasizing about what I could possibly do, I would love to have more animals and raise more of our meat and things like that. It really just kind of depends. That's a conversation Paul and I have to have because I'm not real sure how comfortable he is with that. Because he didn't grow up in a place where they were killing their own meat. Like, at the very least, in my family, we were eating our chicken. So I'm familiar enough with that. But he didn't grow up that way.
Does your husband
When,
you said your husband doesn't really have outside interests at all, so he doesn't do any hunting or fishing or outdoor sports or
no, his hobbies are different. Yeah.
like golf and
City boy, not a country boy.
Yeah, he's a city boy. Well, he likes going to the beach, and he still likes video gaming and those kind of spending time with family, those kind of things, playing board games. It's just a kind of a different,
sure.
same but different. You know what I mean? He
Sure.
loves eating the food though.
Well, listen, we're about 20 some minutes into the thing here. Let's go ahead and get Smudge up here and get a trivia question going here. So, and I forgot to tell you, you will not be able to hear Smudge talking. So,
Bummer.
Okay.
so we'll just go ahead and bring him out here, and he'll tell all the folks at home there that how we do this trivia.
Well, hi, folks. It's trivia time again. And we have to have some rules for this, so they are as follows. Number 1, you can only win once every 4 weeks. Number 2, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it appears embedded on the screen here. Your chat window may have a different order. And number 3, you have to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Send us your mailing address so we know where to send your winnings. Good luck.
Okay, so let me just kind of reiterate here a little bit for Smudge. I know that some of you folks are new here, first time in the chat, so we do these trivia things. And the official order of chat is what you see embedded on the screen. The order on your computer, your phone, your laptop, your TV set is probably, and more than likely, is very different than what we have embedded on the screen here. So this is the official order, is what you see embedded on the screen. So what we're going to do here is we're going to ask a question. And the first one to answer the question correctly in the chat window, in other words, just type it in the chat, will be the winner. So is everybody ready? I've seen a whole bunch of numbers going by and possums being squirrel, and none of those are correct. I can tell you right now.
Oh, possum cheesecake. Oh, yum, Jessica.
All right. So here is the question to the first trivia question. What is Michelle's profession? What does she do full time to support her homestead habit? Uh-oh, we stumping them?
Sure are.
What?
Not one answer. Nope, not RN. Not a nurse.
Not a secretary.
Oh, you're getting close.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, but look who's guessing.
Yeah.
Nope, not a
That's
teacher.
not it.
Not a lion tamer. Sword fighter. There you go. That's a new one. No teacher.
Feeling scared.
A mom. Yeah, that's definitely a career. They're saying the chat window is way behind what we can see. I don't know if you need to refresh.
So close.
Want to give them a hint?
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. I actually work with all of these professions. I help people become these professions.
I was going to say prior to their profession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the whole list of professions is going through here, but
Dutch, sort of, but not quite.
I shoot.
It does have something to do with college.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. College is the key hint, but what does she do for the college?
Nope, nope, not a counselor. No professor, no.
I'm the person you talk to before you come.
Yeah, not administrations.
Admissions is right. Yeah, I'm a recruiter for the admissions
Oh,
department.
okay, so that one's acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Although some of the guesses were teacher, and she did used to be a teacher way back in the day.
Yeah, a long time ago.
okay, so that's Jessica.
College administration?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So, Jessica, you won some seeds.
All right. Cool. So we'll come back with an easier question next time. We had to kind of stump you here, I guess.
Yeah, did you hear Kayla last night was it you that asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up? Either a vet, a chef, or then it was also a college owner. I said, college owner?
Yeah, how about that?
I wonder where that came from.
Okay, folks, we've opened up the phone line. So the number is scrolling across the top of the screen. Just call and enter the meeting ID number when prompted. That'll put you into a room that I can then admit you into the chat. So feel free to call in and ask questions. Just say hi to folks or whatever you might like to do.
She's a college recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandy, I suppose with Morgan Black and Coke, you probably could pull off the professional pirate. Yeah, especially with me sending him to you. Isn't that right, Jessica? Little Gardens, you have a good time at work, I think. I don't know.
Okay. So, Michelle, what is your... I know I guess things are really up in the air. You've thrown me off here now telling me you were going to move in the next relatively short time period because I had all kinds of questions as to what you were going to do improvement-wise on your property. So,
Well, I can talk about what we're going to do. One thing I've learned about my husband is that we're always planning to move. So you can't live your life like that. You know what I mean? You have to live where you are right now. So I can talk to you about what I am planning to do in the near future here.
Go for it.
We are in the process of automating the water system for the animals, for the chickens and the rabbits. And we've got the bucket system right now where, it feeds the lines out to all of the different rabbit cages. But we're going to put that into the sprinkler system so that it automatically goes. But we did learn one really good lesson about that because we were testing it on one rabbit cage. And I think the battery, we have no idea how it stopped, but I think the batteries must have died on the automatic sprinkler thing. And once we caught it, we had to do some catch-up work with that rabbit. But fortunately, we didn't have any terrible things happen, but it scared me a little bit. So we definitely know that it's not foolproof, and you've got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to hook the chickens and rabbits up to that because we do work full-time, and Lucy goes to school. So we're not here all day long, like a lot of it, like it would be in my fantasy world. So I've got to make sure that they're taken care of well. So we're going to work on that. I do have all of the materials to put in automatic drip lines to a lot of places, and we built 3 new raised beds that are like 3.5 feet tall.
Wow.
So we've kind of done a hugelculture thing where we filled them with a lot of yard debris because we don't use any chemicals on our yard. And we waited about a year before we started doing that so that we know nothing in there does have recent chemicals on it. So there's lots of branches and leaves and all those kind of things in there. And then we put the dirt on top of that. So now we're going to be laying the drip line on there so that we can automate that. We do have a lot of fruit trees on our property that were not well maintained before we came here. So I watch Garden Answer a lot, and I found out on her channel, because I had no idea, that there were things you were supposed to do to the trees over the winter and fall months. So I'm going to be doing that stuff this year, and hopefully we actually get some fruit next year. And if we don't, then we might be taking the trees out, because I don't know if they're just too far gone. If you guys know about fruit trees or good videos for me to watch to get these things going, that would be great.
There you go, folks.
We have peach trees and cherry trees and plum trees. We have persimmon trees that produce. Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything to them.
They're like the best persimmon trees I've ever seen. And we do have a pomegranate tree that is still a baby that we planted when we moved in here.
One of the questions is, how many acres do you have?
We have 1 acre, so we have pretty small property. And the funny thing is that most of what you see on the videos is just the backyard area, and most of the property is actually in the front yard. There's a huge front yard.
Probably like 3/4 of the entire acre.
Yeah. But because we live in the city, we do have to be careful about what we do in the front. They don't care what we do in the back, but I do know the people that lived here before put in like half of the front yard became a grape orchard, if that's what you call it, a vineyard, and the city made them take it out. I'm pretty sure actually that they rezoned a lot of stuff because of that, and we're now in a zone that prevents us from selling out agriculture or animals from our property. So, and I'm pretty sure those laws went into effect because of the people that lived here before us.
I see somebody suggesting, or at least Weiss thinks, that M.I. Gardner has some videos about overwintering trees, but I think the whole thing is just getting them pruned up when they go dormant, getting them pruned up, and then let them go. So it seems like
I'm definitely going to be doing that. And we have like some kind of insect that gets into the peach tree, so I think you have to treat them over the winter when they're dormant, like in the ground, and then you also treat them again when they start emerging, which I didn't know about before. But I'm no expert. I couldn't even tell you what I have to put on them right now, but I know you can put something organic on them.
So, how do you see your YouTube channel evolving from where it is now? Do you see it becoming more active? Are you going to be doing more videos and expand your horizons as to the content, or are you going to focus in on just fruit trees or something? Or
I started the channel as a way to get closer to my daughter, who is obsessed with YouTube.
I have a bit of an issue.
So she actually knows more about all this YouTube stuff than I do, but I'm learning. And while you don't see her in a lot of the videos, she does help out behind the scenes and with the planning, and she comes up with a lot of really good ideas for things. And I think that the pajama tops video that just came up recently was her idea. And I think that we might make that a regular thing. So the purpose, like the concept behind the channel to begin with, was to create something for her so that she could always be able to reference me and our family and kind of what we do together. Because when my dad passed away, we have very few video clips of him. And they're the ones that are very accessible are very short. I mean, I'm sure we have some videos somewhere that nobody knows how to find. You know what I mean? And this, I wanted it to be kind of a collaboration so that we can use it to build memories, and we can take her favorite recipes or Daddy's favorite recipes and make a video of us making them so she doesn't ever lose the recipe. And she can look back, and no matter how old she is, or her grandkids or their grandkids, and find those things. I think that YouTube is a great way to kind of build on like a family encyclopedia of how to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If like, so say like my grandkids, right? They probably aren't going to end up meeting you, right? So if they were to watch like our channel, then they might feel like they met you, you know, because they kind of got an idea of your personality and the things you liked, stuff like that.
Well, the question.
My dad did a lot of genealogy work before he passed away, and he found someone in our lineage with his same exact name that fought in the Revolutionary War.
Oh, wow.
And we had no idea before he did all of that. And I just think it's cool that I can't go back and know him or know anything about his personality or what he liked. But we can now kind of build some things like
Sure.
that, like treasures for the future.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I think the burning question is now is Lucy, you do know where your food comes from, correct?
Yes.
That's cute. God, there's so many that don't. Lisa Hopkins is asking, are you looking forward to moving to get out of the zoning issues? Sounds like you would like more freedom.
Yeah, well, we moved here because we were not in a, what's it called?
HOA?
Yes, that's it. We are not in an HOA here, which is great. But we are a little more visible to the city where we happen to be. So when they drive around and do their inspections and stuff, they see us. So if I don't mow the lawn, they're going to let me know I didn't mow the lawn.
We've got a few notes.
Yeah, if you watch one of our recent videos, you can see how bad it got because I couldn't get the stupid lawnmower to start. Well, anyway,
I got
it.
to start. This is my first time on the riding lawnmower, and I don't know how this happened, but I went forward, backward, and stopped and almost flipped the lawnmower.
Well, she didn't almost flip it.
It felt like that because of how hard it turned.
She did go forward and back pretty fast, and then she quickly turned it off and got off and walked away and said, "I'm not doing that right now."
The horse I don't want to tame.
I wish I had that on video.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, I definitely want to cover like the progression with the fruit trees. I probably should have gotten some video of them being in the bad state that they are, but it's one of those kind of things I've been trying to figure out what to do with them. So we'll see if I can't conquer them.
Okay. I was just kind of going through the chat here a little bit, seeing if anybody had any questions. And if you're in South Carolina, you're not all that far from Virginia. But do you have any I'm going to even throw it out to as far as like Big Bear. Do you have any desires to go to any of these homesteading events, such as meetups or?
Yes,
Yes. Well, that was pretty.
I would love to. I feel like they always happen at times where I can't quite make it, though. I really wanted to go to Big Bear's because he's in Georgia, not too far from my mom, actually. But the timing just didn't work out on that. Is there one coming up in Virginia soon?
No, next year. I mean, I think everything's pretty well done for this year.
Yeah, there's one in July. Mother Earth News Fair is in July. That one's at Polyface Farms. That one's at Joel Salatin's.
Yeah, that would be.
And then the HOA is in October at Front Royal, Virginia. And that's a 3-day.
Jason, are you still in the chat? I know that you're planning on having something at your place. You can talk about it here.
Mandy, what's an AIP diet? I mean, not part of the conversation here, but I mean, I've heard of the seafood diet. I've been on that. Seafood, you eat it. See, Loma Acres has the same one. Oh yeah, now they all want to go to Polyface.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be a very popular event next year.
Yeah.
But there's a few of those around, and you don't necessarily have to travel across the country to visit one.
Well, this past Memorial Day on Saturday, we were at Big Bear's for his meetup, Saturday afternoon, evening. Then we left there after that and drove to Seversville, Tennessee for another meetup.
Yeah, that was for Southern Mama's
Coffee Break.
Break meetup. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I want to put on our list for next year. I just kind of I feel, I don't know, on some level, I feel like our channel is really small. I even feel a little, I don't know, unworthy to be on this show. I do know. But that is a goal I have. I would love to go to one of those, absolutely, and spend a couple of days and go to the classes. And, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I haven't heard of anything in South Carolina itself or Georgia, except for the one that Big Bear does.
Well, no, I guess I can't think of any specific events, but there
may be one in Iowa in September.
There are certainly between North and South Carolina. There's quite a few homesteaders.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you personally know any of them, have met any of them, but a lot of them are, they'd be more willing to open up their doors and spend a day with you and teach you a few things.
That would be a great idea.
And just to throw some of those out, Justin Rhodes, Holler Homestead, so the land,
Fit
Farmer, yeah, all of those they all have great channels, and they all are wonderful people.
That's one thing I love about this community. I think that everyone is very helpful and nice and communicates well, and even just kind of the behind the scenes stuff with the Facebook group for the homesteaders. It's so nice to me to know that there's that support system, which I really was surprised by when I first got into this. And thank you guys for putting that together, or the contribution that you've made to that.
I was shocked when we first started doing the channel and the support system, because I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and it's unlike any other community. It's a lot of the communities try to tear each other down, or it's a big competition to get the most views, that kind of thing. But with this community, everyone's trying to build each other up, and I think that's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and I see.
And Lucy and I actually were talking about the direction of the channel earlier before this program started. And that's one of the things I said, is that I really kind of chose to call ourselves a homestead because of the community. And because it encompasses a lot of the things I want to do or goals I have for our lives, to be healthier, and we can have cooking videos and gardening videos, a lot of the things that we're interested in, and maybe a little bit of crafting and stuff. I mean, and family. All of the topics that I'm interested in kind of encompassed in the homestead world. And there are a lot of people of faith in this community. And it's just I definitely want her and I to be part of a community that is building each other up. And I think this one's fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely a wonderful community. And speaking of community, and you folks out here in the chat, we get people that watch this, in the rerun, so to speak, after it's been live. So right now, whoever's your favorite YouTuber that you go out there and watch religiously, type their name in the chat, and go ahead and do that there, so everybody can see who some of the popular YouTubers are, because you can't know them all. You cannot know them all. It's as many folks as we know. We find new ones all the time that we didn't even know existed. So, speaking of favorite YouTubers, Michelle, who is yours?
Speaking of what?
Favorite YouTubers. I'm going to ask you first, and then I'm going to ask Lucy, and we'll see if she gives something that's in the homestead genre, or if she's out in the gaming area or something.
Okay. So my favorite YouTubers that I watch all the time are Garden Answer, Roots and Refuge, White House on a Hill.
So she talked about that one.
I like Art and Bree, Justin Rhodes. I mean, a lot of the people that you named, Fit Farmer. Let's see. There's another, the White Cottage Company, I think is the name of it. It's a lady that does her own, makes a lot of stuff and refinishes furniture. I've really started discovering a lot of new channels. And I think there's a channel called Food 52 that has interesting videos. Oh, and one that I absolutely love that just seems like probably not something that is mentioned on homesteading channels very much is the Bon Appetit channel. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the chefs on that channel. They have the greatest personalities, and it's just hilarious to watch them cook.
Okay, Lucy, your turn.
Well, I probably only have one. Her name is Aphmel. Yeah, you know it. She mostly does role plays and plays video games. Just sums it up basically.
She
Okay.
does a lot of Minecraft role playing.
Okay,
And
so you're
It's
still
all
a,
very,
so you're still a gamer.
yeah.
Gaming runs in our blood for sure.
Yeah, I was born because of video games. I have to pay my respect.
Okay. So anyway, what do you hope to what do you hope evolves from joining us here tonight on the show? Are you looking for anybody out here to perhaps do some sort of collab video with you, or do you have an idea? Are you looking for what is your reason for wanting to share your time with us on the show?
Yeah, I would love to be more involved with things like that. I would love to do more collaboration videos and or just get involved in any way I can. You know what I mean? There's probably things I can't even think about or don't know about yet to figure out.
I think that she probably jumped whenever like it was official that we were going to be streaming together, because I remember when you were doing a review on our channel.
Oh yeah, he probably doesn't even remember this.
Yeah, you were doing a review on our channel, and you were like stalling until we got to 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
And we both like jumped for joy at the time.
Yeah, we had a huge celebration. You were the one that got us to 100.
Well, I'm glad we could help. Hopefully, you'll pick up a few more tonight. So
Yeah, they have, because I've seen a few of them say they're subscribed.
yeah, so
Oh, thank you very much.
but now of course you guys have to back that up. If we get people to look at you and subscribe to your channel, now you got to start making some more content.
We do, and my goal really is for us to make one video a week, and we haven't been keeping up with that. When it got hot this summer, it was really hot here, and we kind of like abandoned being outside for a while. But I think that over the winter time, it's going to be a good time for us to make one video a week, because we can still get outside and work the land, and a lot of other people can't. And I don't know why that is, but like even where my mom is in Georgia, they can't they're pretty parallel with us, but it's colder there than it is here. So
Yeah, we are in like the Goldilocks zone for weather.
yeah. So we're right on the line between 8A and 8B, and I love it here. It's fantastic.
Okay, and I know that. Well, I was just glancing at the chat here. I see Loma Acres just put out a collab,
Keto challenge.
a keto challenge. So I don't know if y'all have any interest in that, but they're looking for people to join. It's Loma Acres Homestead. If you just go to their channel, probably his last couple videos or something will say something about it. And
Yeah, I have to do mine yet.
so anyway, it's
I mean, you'll find this interesting, Daryl. When I was adding more videos and getting everything updated on our channel, I found videos I thought were public that never were made public.
Surprise!
I thought there was more content than there really was. I'm still learning.
well, and certainly that happens.
Getting off on the wrong foot, still getting off on a foot, right?
That's true. Thank you.
And of course, you don't have to be outside to make content. I mean, you cook every
That's
day.
true.
You cook every day, so you can do some of your own
And
cooking
I
stuff.
love to
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's maybe like you said, a goal to make our kitchen meal a little more often. That would be a bit of an issue.
And I don't. Do y'all do any preserving? Do y'all any canning or dehydrating?
I did start canning this year, but you guys, you have to hear this. I've been trying to watch for a good deal on jars, on mason jars. And around here, I don't know what it is, but for us, Craigslist and most of the big selling things like on Facebook are in Charleston or Columbia. It's very rarely right close to us. Well, just this week, a lady posted a picture of some jars, and she was going to sell the whole lot of them for $30. And most of the time when they sell jars around here, it's $1 a jar. It's basically the same price you can pay for them brand new. I have no idea why they sell them at that price. Well, I could tell that there were at least 60 jars in the pictures that she posted. So I told her I wanted to buy them. Well, when I got there, literally my van is full of jars.
Wow.
I had no idea how many jars. I think there's at least 150 jars, if not more than that.
I had no idea she was getting jars. And so when she pulled up to pick me up from school, I was just like, where do I put my stuff?
Yeah.
Just can it.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. So, yeah, I have the canning equipment. And I did can beans earlier this year to kind of just test it out and see how I liked it. and those turned out great. So really, it's just a matter of us starting to do it more.
Yeah, it's
But I have a dehydrator, and we like to freeze things, and I love my Instant Pot. I make tons of stuff in the Instant Pot. And we're about to make a huge batch of elderberry syrup because I have a bunch of orders from people locally that want to buy some from us.
She has it all sitting out in the kitchen.
Yeah.
okay. So you have elderberry plants.
That's a one. I think good.
So you have elderberry plants on your property there.
No, I have to order them on Amazon,
Oh,
but
okay.
I know I'm getting them organically at least. I'm actually going to have to get more because I've pre-sold more than I ordered to begin with.
So do you do any fermentation?
Yes. I just made sauerkraut for the first time a couple of weeks ago. And if you've never made your own sauerkraut and you like Korean or Asian type foods, you have to make it. I had no idea that there was, that a lot of Asian people refer to two different kinds of sauerkraut or stages. It's sauerkraut you make the day of and old sauerkraut. But I don't know the real like Asian terms for all that.
Fermented.
But yeah, the sauerkraut that you make fresh, and if you eat that before it ferments, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like I could have eaten the whole jar.
What's that tea that you made that one time?
Kombucha. Yeah, we make kombucha. We make our own yogurt. And she loves our own yogurt. She likes it better than the stuff in the store.
Yeah, and it's better for you also.
I will put like ranch powder in it and just make ranch out of the yogurt we make sometimes.
Well, and if,
I didn't know
that-
about
Now that's different.
Serious?
That-
Good.
Not sure I would like that.
No, I need something.
But you know, you come up with the coolest ideas though. I mean, and that's one thing I like about her. She is willing to try things
Mhm.
and experiment with things.
I have a personal hobby that many people find strange in my school. It's if I'm out of my comfort zone, that's my hobby. So like, I will try foods that I know I don't like just because taste buds change. You never know.
That's true. That's true. Loma Acres is asking if you made a video of making the sauerkraut.
No, I did not make a video. What's the sauerkraut thing? I just forgot now.
You were talking about sauerkraut.
I said sauerkraut? No,
Yeah, you
it's
said
sauerkraut. What is it called?
What describe it?
The hot and spicy kimchi. I know.
Gotcha.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I totally made the wrong thing. I said the wrong thing. I made kimchi. So the day of kimchi, super good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can let it ferment and it gets spicier and the texture of the cabbage changes. But I've never had it fresh because obviously kimchi you get in stores has to be old kimchi. But the fresh kimchi is amazing with all the different vegetables and fresh things from the garden. Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Isn't kimchi spicy?
Yes.
That.
But it really, to me, it wasn't as spicy the first day I made it as it gets spicier over time.
I like a little bit of spicy, but not very much. And to me, it was like that perfect, like Goldilocks zone again.
Yeah, I'm not a spice. I don't do spices. I don't do spicy anything. Daryl, we need to do the second trivia.
getting it pulled up right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
I just happened to look at the time.
Yeah.
Well, hi, folks. It's trivia time again. And we have to have some rules for this, so they are as follows. Number 1, you can only win once every 4 weeks. Number 2, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it appears embedded on the screen here. Your chat window may have a different order. And number 3, you have to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com Send us your mailing address so we know where to send your winnings. Good luck.
Okay. Yeah, again, we'll just kind of reiterate here, the official order of chat is what you see on the screen. It's embedded in. That way it's equal to everybody. So the second question, final question of the evening, is what flowers did we plant that did not germinate at all?
I was so sad. I planted so many.
What flowers were planted that never germinated?
Callahan Town to Country, yes, you can use really old jars as long as they're not cracked or chipped.
I planted them from all different sources too. I think I had some from M.I. Gardner. I had some from trading with people. I mean, it was just all kinds of packages. Not one of them came up.
And no, it was not zinnias. Wasn't cosmos. Wasn't amethyst. Snosberry? No, wasn't snosberry.
Willy Wonka.
I am going to try again next year, though. I'm getting fresh seeds. Going to do it again.
She is. That face is how you know she's
Yeah.
Yep. J-Lo Adventures.
J-Love
Sunflowers.
Adventures. It's sunflowers.
You got it. They're as bright as the ring light.
Okay.
But because J-Love won the first one,
I think we got to go to the next
let's
one
go,
under.
which is rustic acres. I think was right below. Yeah, Rustic Traditions Homestead. Because J-Love won the first one.
Yep.
So Rustic Traditions, if you will email us name and address, twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com, I can get you some seeds out.
Maybe even sunflower.
Congratulations.
Well, there's some sunflowers
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, maybe even sunflowers.
May have to send some to South Carolina. Is that what you say?
All right. So, what else are we doing here this evening?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure where to go with all this. Tell us a little bit about your house and your thoughts moving forward. I mean, I'm sure that right now everything is very modern, but do you have any thoughts or desires to I'm going to say utilize wood heat, utilize solar power, or off-grid type things, or do you prep for any of that? What do you
I
have?
would love to have more solar power, especially in areas where our rabbits are, because I can't get electricity to them the way our property is set up. And I would like to have fans that are temperature controlled during the summer because it is so hot here. And we do show the rabbits sometimes. So we want to make sure that they're well taken care of and everything. Let's see.
Are you at all familiar with the channel J00?
Yes, I'm subscribed to him and I've watched some of his things. He has a lot of rabbit content. He's one of the first places I went to learn about rabbits.
Yes, and he's in Southern Ohio, and he set up a thing for his cages that with a solar panel directly wired to a 12-volt fan. I think they were old computer fans or something on the cage. So when the sun was out, it just ran the fan. When the sun was...
I need to watch that video. I definitely need to do something like that because it does get stiflingly hot here. And I do have the rabbits under a big magnolia tree, so they're shaded most of the time, but that's not enough.
I always worry about lightning because our school always preaches, don't go under a tree or you'll get struck by lightning.
But our house actually isn't modern. I mean, we do have all of the modern conveniences because we live in a city, but our house was built, I think, in 1913, something like that.
I think that due to that, that's like probably the main root of some of our electrical issues.
Yeah, so I think we might still have some of the original electrical wiring in the
And
house.
some of the wallpaper too.
But I love this house. This is such an amazing house. And now, when we first moved here, we thought we were going to be moving into a different house. And the deal on that fell through right as our semi-truck of stuff was rolling its way toward Orangeburg and unable to go back. So we quickly found an apartment, and we had to stuff our huge house worth of stuff into a teeny tiny apartment. And because we thought we were only going to be there for a couple of months, I and my husband decided not to get a storage unit. That was never happening ever again. Because I think that we lived there I know we were there for over a year.
I think it was 2 years.
I think it was 2 years. And that was horrible.
That was the root of all stress.
Yeah, dodging boxes all the time. So now we have space and we can like walk through a hallway and not like dodge boxes. It's fantastic.
Well, there's also, when you talk about J-Null with the rabbits, Todd, Jareth, Reap What You Sow.
Oh yeah,
They have a fantastic rabbit colony.
yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that at a homestead.
Yeah, they're in southern Louisiana. You know how hot it is there.
What's the name of the channel?
Reap What You Sow.
Reap What You Sow. Yep, I watched some of their videos.
Yeah, and they do a new, I think they do a rabbit video every Friday.
Oh, that's neat.
But yeah, we were there in July. We stayed, they invited us to pull our camper down and stay on their property. And that rabbit colony is just amazing.
Yeah. Now they don't deal with the electric thing, and that's the only reason I mentioned J Noel Zeros is because I know that he did that with old cast off solar panels, and I mean just cheapy ones. Is he just did it with old stuff that you could pick up for next to nothing. But
I definitely want to find out how to do that.
But reap what you sow. I guess they did have a fan in the barn there, but not one going out to the rabbits.
No.
He works it different. He has a very natural habitat for the rabbits.
There's tunnels and everything. I mean, it's just, you think, I sure they are, I mean, just as nice as some of the zoos.
Oh yeah, it was incredible.
But I've never seen rabbits at a zoo, so.
They have fencing that goes down into the ground so the rabbits can't dig out. But he's got a mound of dirt and he has some shade cloth over top of that for overall. But the rabbits actually live. They've tunneled into the ground.
Yeah,
And-
it's
and
their
they-
own caverns.
Yeah, it's their own habitat.
Yeah.
And they go inside under the ground to have babies and stuff. And when they come out, then they seal the babies in there to keep them cool. And then it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really wild. So yeah, do watch some of Reap What You Sow if you want to see a real natural habitat
Yeah, I
on
think
rabbits.
this Friday it's showing because a lot of the rabbits are getting ready to have babies. So they're going to have lots.
That's really neat, and I'm glad you mentioned it's in Louisiana because they get a lot of rain there too, like we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I would be worried about is them getting like waterlogged in tunnels. So I definitely will check that out.
Yeah, I would. Todd's just amazing
Yeah.
what he's done with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
No, I'm sorry. Starting to hit me.
Yeah, this getting dark early is wearing us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough to get off of work and it already be dark outside because I would definitely be rather be outside, or at least for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. Buddy Nash says you actually have to be there to understand how amazing it is. They were there the same few days that we were there. So yeah, that was, they've just done wonders with that. What you looking at?
I was just trying to look back through the chat here.
It is
Wall Street Homestead. I'll just type it in here.
okay. It's with the JNULL0.
That's the channel name, J00. And he's
Can one of our mods go out and get the actual URL and post it up there? You want to spin the rabbits? Sort of like we spin Smudge on Thursday nights. Take care, strong enough to bend.
So does anybody else out there
So-
really dislike this daylight savings time changing?
Well, Josh just posted, I'm back. Had to put my phone in the freezer for a bit. It's 100 degrees here.
Where are you at?
He's in Australia.
In Australia.
Put the phone in the freezer. I've never heard of putting a phone in the freezer.
Wow.
Simply Jan, they were in South Carolina. Wow.
Okay.
You can come here, Josh, because we're a tad cold.
Yeah, it's actually snowing here this evening.
Winter advisory. Well, it's how cold is it there, Mandy? Did you say 10 below?
Where's that at?
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll pass. I'm ready to move down to Florida and stay with my daughter. Well, not sure I want to stay with my daughter, but go down to Florida.
Yeah, Lawmakers is saying time change. Wish they would just pick one time and stay with it.
Yep.
As I understand
What
it,
part of Florida is your daughter in?
Pardon me?
What part of Florida is your daughter in?
Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie on the Atlantic
Okay.
side.
I think
It's-
my sister
It's not.
Stephanie lives in Port St. Lucie.
Really?
What's the big city near there?
About 45 minutes away is Palm Beach.
Yeah, she does. And I have another sister that lives in Lakeland. And I actually went to school in Pensacola. And I went to Pensacola Christian College.
Yeah, as I remember, originally I think that the time change was a good idea originally, but I think like so many other things, they've carried it off into not being a good thing, and I think they would be much further off if they wanted to save time or whatever. Instead of changing the time, change the work hours.
Oh, I agree.
So.
Yeah, not throw the entire country off just for a few places.
Well, Buddy's saying it's supposed to be 24 in Louisiana. I didn't know it ever got that cold down there.
5 degrees. Oh, thank you. I'm not even ready for that.
That reminds me of when we went up to, what was it? Yeah.
Royal
people
Amethyst,
there.
9 degrees there. Feels like -4, low of -2. Good Lord.
Okay. Well, I think we're starting to, a few folks are starting to die off here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of close it down. Do you have any last thoughts, Michelle and Lucy?
Well, thank you for having us on your show tonight. We appreciate it. And we are definitely looking forward to getting more involved and producing more content and seeing what the future holds.
I think we also, at least I also appreciate everyone who's, well, you guys and everyone else who's watching for being a part of this community, because honestly, like, it's amazing to me.
Well, it's been a fun evening. We're glad you could find the time to join us here tonight, and we certainly do want you to stay in touch. So, anything else you can think of?
No, sir.
No?
No.
So, I can tell you that next week we're going to have another channel on by the name of Farmall Fanatic. Will be our guest next week. So, you'll for sure want to be here for then, and tell all your friends to join us here next week as well. So, with that, everybody have a wonderful evening. Take care, and we will see you later.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.